Back in the day, when you heard that intro song, I know my parents love me. Stand behind me, come what may. You were ready for your weekly dose of the Hillman students from On a Different World. Folks like Denise, Whitley, Jaleesa, Dwayne, Kimberly, Freddie, Ron, and others.
Well, many of us were excited to hear that over 30 years after the last episode of the sitcom aired in 1993, Netflix would bring the show back in September of 2026, with many of the original cast members returning to Hillman as Dwayne and Whitley's daughter attends the university.
You know, has too much time passed? Because it's been like over 30, like really close, like if not 33 years, close to 33 years. I mean, is this going to be look good? My fingers are crossed, because we also saw, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of be rebooted with the show Bel-Air, and the Best Man came back from the 90s or early 2000s. I talked about this on some other video, but it is the children of the so and so is here, and we're kind of not here for the children, and our children aren't here for the children. But I guess if you get some young people to make it, then they'll make it for young people. But that is not what's going to draw the young people there. But if you are in your 20s, go to the comments and tell us if you plan on watching A Different World. Also tell us, did you watch Bel-Air? Or are you is Bel-Air canceled? I don't even know. We watched about the first 5-6 episodes, and then in the first season, and it was.
I probably watched the whole first season.
Did you? Okay, I don't feel like I watched the whole first season, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah. But see, they basically just recreated it with the same characters, right? Which is kind of different, but in a different genre. But this is like, if nepotism in the real world isn't bad enough, now we got nepotism in the fantasy world or the fictional world of television, right? So the characters' children got to be the focus now. Just like in real life, you got, your celebrities, and then their children got to be the focus. Like, can we just break, like... That's just some crazy meta nepotism stuff that's going on.
Well, I guess it's like they gotta give us a reason to care, and maybe because we cared about Dwayne and Whitley, we're gonna care about their daughter and like her and whatever. I've seen the trailer now about twice, and we're gonna watch it live so that we can comment as well. But I just don't know. I agree that they are trying to capture a new audience. I'm not sure if they will, but I mean, I guess it's good. But the thing is, unless it's going to make them want to go back and watch the show from the 90s, which was an amazing show and groundbreaking in many ways for the time. I don't know, because I already go into it, and maybe I'm just so biased, but I already go into it feeling like, not that I'm not going to like it, but the original is just always going to be my thing, So I don't know. And then also, so my next question is, all right, we know that A Different World was a spinoff from The Cosby Show, but what does that mean, considering the legacy of Bill Cosby and all that went on with him? And,
he still gets created by, I think, credits.
I mean, and I assume there's no way that they're doing this without him getting paid. And it seemed... And not that I agree with this, because I feel like what happened to the cast of The Cosby Show was so unfortunate, after all of the controversy and stuff, which was much later than the run of the show, but the show still was in syndication and reruns. And hopefully, the actors were getting their residuals. Well, after everything blew up, nobody wanted to run the show. But I know even when the show was still on, and when I was, in my 20s, boy, they were running that thing. You could see all the episodes, which was wonderful, because when we were coming up, it wasn't a time where we could watch anytime we felt like.
You know what's going to be missing from this one?
What?
Lisa Bonet.
Well, she was missing from all the rest of the seasons too, because she was only there for the first season.
Yeah, but that don't matter. It's 30 years later, and Bill Cosby,
she couldn't get a cameo. But you know what? We were watching something where, she had been interviewed, and she was just talking about how basically, but this was years ago, how she really didn't have much contact with the cast after she left the show. And of course, she kind of came and left, not A Different World, but The Cosby Show, because after she left A Different World, she did return to The Cosby Show, some years later. But I don't know. But I'm willing to go in with an open mind for sure. But these reboots, man, I just don't know. But they being Netflix, have released a trailer. So let's watch that and see what we think.
I'm Heit.
And I'm Cheri.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation via Cash App, or you can head on over to patreon.com/Axiom Amnesia to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber.
Welcome to Hillman.
The trailer opens up with us hearing a voice that we recognize. It's Jennifer Lewis talking about, welcome to Hillman, you're at Hillman.
The preeminent HBCU in the country.
And then we get some clips of, the stuff that makes us love HBCUs.
We are not going anywhere.
From just the vibe on campus and on the yard, all the way to, the frats and sororities that are on campus, and just a bunch of, Black folks living life, going to college, getting educated and stuff like that.
We are living our best, young, gifted, Black, talented lives.
I don't know nothing about HBCUs.
Well, okay, so you guys know the ones that that have been around. Tuskegee is where I started my college career. I didn't graduate from Tuskegee, but I went to a PWI after Tuskegee. But I did have 2 solid years of wonderful HBCU experience. And it's like none other. It's just, you do miss out if you don't go to an HBCU as far as the culture is concerned.
My parents have been pushing Hillman since before they knew my name.
Obviously not missing out on an education, get an education wherever, however you can. But it felt very much like I remember in the 90s when I went to Tuskegee. Obviously, things are updated. The clothes aren't the same because, back then we were dressing like TLC and stuff. But still, that was very much the vibe. So they captured it well, but I mean, it's not like they didn't already know how to capture it, because we know they had an entire TV show set back then.
Beautiful, talking smart.
As many of you know, changes on this platform have pushed us toward a more viewer-funded model. So if you'd like to help to keep the channel going, there are a few easy ways to support us. You can become a member and unlock over 100 exclusive videos, plus additional member perks. You can also become an executive producer or co-executive producer on an upcoming video through our Deep Dive on Demand, starting at just $10, which gets your name on the screen and a shout out during the video, or you can pick up some merch to represent the community. And don't forget to join our mailing list so you never miss a video across any of our channels. Also, if you're looking for something to watch after this video, be sure to check out our bedtime binge playlist that's linked below. It's full of videos you may have missed. You'll find links to all of these options in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. And thanks for helping keep these deep dives coming. And so we are introduced to a bunch of characters, and you're left to sort of make heads or tails of these different characters. But we do see kind of the character that's billed as the main character, who is Whitley and Dwayne's daughter. Deborah is her name. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You are forging your own legacy at Hillman.
I wonder if there were any young Deborahs anymore. I kind of view that as more of an older person's name, but maybe she was named after someone.
They turned me off from the beginning, though.
How?
Because the music comes on, it's, I don't know what kind of genre this is now. I guess that's just hip hop, right? But it reminds me of Kanye West. And I'm like, what is this song?
These American girls are wild.
That house sound and music.
Yeah, but it's that he sampled this one song in that, do you know the video with your girl, Tatiana, what's her name?
Teyana
Taylor, right? In that video. So it has this bass line that's from this song, Mystery of Love, Mr. Fingers. And it's this song that's in the trailer is basically that same bass line. So I just think of Kanye and I'm like, ugh. And it's just not my genre of music too. You know what I'm saying? Like but I guess if you're trying to get with the young people, then that would be something that's enticing, because the trailer, that's supposed to be the point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it definitely piques my interest, So, but I agree with you on the music tip. I think I'm the only person from Chicago who is not into house music. Y'all forgive me. But I mean, I guess I grew up in Chicago, but I was not born there. And that is definitely one of those things. I'm not a house music head at all. So I could have done without that. And then I just felt like, who is that sings that song, Optimistic?
Sounds of Blackness?
Yeah, Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. So then there's this kind of new rendition or cover of Optimistic that they're playing there. And I'm like, okay, so the song is like from 1991-ish, somewhere in there in the 90s. And
wait, that's what you hear?
Well, it's later. It's later in there.
Okay.
They play it toward the middle end of the, not at the same time that they're playing that house sequence. And
that was Brandy? That voice got to be Brandy.
Singing Optimistic?
I don't know.
Man, she's beautiful.
You're right. That is Brandy.
Yeah, see?
So they had Brandy. All right. So this is a spoiler because I saw another thing. They had Brandy singing the theme song. I know my parents love me. That. I love Brandy. Okay. I just wasn't expecting that. And I guess, there's just something about that original song. And it would have been nice if there was a way to update it without re-singing it, especially because the first season, it was not sung by Aretha Franklin. I forgot who sang it the first season. But the second season, it was sung by Aretha, and just, it just was powerful. And not that Brandy's isn't going to be powerful. Brandy's is a little different. But I guess now that Brandy is viewed as the legend, the same way that Aretha Franklin was viewed as a legend when, in the 90s.
Since Whitney Houston not here, they passed it to Brandy, right? Because even to this day. So Aretha Franklin, she was, quote, old at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the generation before. So I think Whitney Houston would have just slid right into this role in this version.
Yeah. Brandy is singing the song. I have to accept that things did change, and it's just really hard. Stand behind me, come with me.
No, things ain't changed like this. These are faux trap drums. They're not even real trap drums. They use like a sub sound and paired it with like some. It's just, and it don't know.
It's a different world than where you come from.
Well, I was telling you that I do think it would have been kind of cool if. If you could have had the old school style without the updated vocals and the trap drum, to kind of bring it current. But
how do you bring it current? You get young people to do it. Well, all I seen was old people in the studio. Well, at least put some young people up in there with them. Like, come on.
But I mean, let me just say up front though, Brandy's vocals always gonna be amazing. Like now, especially we know the challenges and stuff where she's like the run queen, and she is practically unmatched.
But
at
a
this
song
point.
is a song. The thing about the theme was how it was sung, and it was harsh.
It was.
Right? She like, where you come from?
Well,
like,
I mean, we got to see the making of. We didn't hear the final version, and so I will hold my mule until I watch that first episode and hear
break it out
and see what it is.
Those drums and bass line like that. So it's like trying to remake. You can't remake songs. It's all the original or the one that you listen to for 30 years is always going to be the one. So no matter what, we're not going to.
It's always going to be the one to you. But we talk about this all the time with the remake, to some people, when Beyonce had, did Frankie Beverly and May's song, then it to young people, it's a Beyonce song. So,
but remember when they remade the
that.
Power theme song and everybody got mad and then he had to change it back?
Yeah. So, we'll see on that tip, but yeah.
But part of the thing is like when you had The Wire, every season they had a different version of the song. But while it's happening, you don't get too attached in the same way. So then you just accept that they're changing it by the third season.
I also wanted to bring up that, we're introduced very quickly, because it's a trailer, to all of these new characters and whatever. And so Deborah, who is Whitley and Dwayne's daughter, it seems a lot like the Lisa Bonet character to me, where, you know, it's implied that she went to Hillman because she didn't get into anywhere else.
You didn't get in anywhere else, did you?
And, you know, we see her in various scenes or clips. And so I'm like, okay, I do think that you need all of these different types of students. And I think they did a wonderful job of that with the original. And it looks like they've got a bunch of different types of students who here too. You know, the person who goes to college, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Then you got the people who always knew, like, for instance, Kimberly's character. She knew she wanted to come and be a doctor. And then you have the free spirit like Freddie. So I think all of these different types of characters will be represented, which I think gives it a better chance of being a great show. Let me just jump in here and let you guys know that if you are not a member on Axiom.app, Patreon, or on YouTube, you are missing out on over 100 exclusive members-only videos, plus other perks like early access to some videos, your name listed as a contributor in videos, and more. So join today for as little as $5 a month, and it's a great way to support the channel. The links are in the description. The other thing I have to admit that I was looking for is, well, that there's diversity in the types of Black people that they're showing, not only socially, but physically. You know, I don't want to see colorism. I want to see all, you know, all colors in the rainbow of us on screen. And I feel like I saw that too. And in fact, I'm trying to remember, did they have any African students in the original show? I don't think they did. And they do have an African student. I'm not sure what country
did have
he's
white
from.
people.
They did have a white person the first season, played by Marissa Tomei, who went on to win an Oscar for My Cousin Vinny. You know, but she was only on there that first season with Lisa Bonet on there as well. So a lot of people cycled through the cast, though, of the original. And I think that it's a high bar that's been set, but we'll see. And, you know, I think that they do all right by bringing the old cast members back, but you know, it's like they're playing a back seat and the story really isn't about them.
Yeah.
And I want the story to keep being about them because I'm old and I remember the show from before, and yeah. So, but I'm trying to keep an open mind. It's very, you know, because I feel attached to this as part of the nostalgia, and I feel like they're possibly messing it up.
How could you mess up your nostalgia when you still have the old one?
Well, I guess maybe just because it's left open. You know, at the end, we know Whitley is pregnant. We know that, you know, Dwayne is job at Kanishiwa or whatever happens in that last episode, you know, but it's left open and we can kind of dream about what we expect. But now that we've jumped forward over 30 years, we are about to see if what we thought, you know, like it has the potential to create more canon for this franchise. And then if that's the canon, if the fact is they're like, oh, we had 10 kids and this is the last, or we didn't have any more kids, or she's our adopted kid, whatever the story is.
He went on to develop the algorithm that addicts kids, and so that their lives are terrible. So, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was a computer
scientist
basically. Or electrical engineer.
He was, I don't know what type. I just know he was an engineer working for Kanishiwa, was some type of computer, I think, firm at the time. So, you know, so there's that. And I was pleasantly surprised to hear relax, relate, release.
You gotta learn how to relax, relate, and release.
Oof, girl, I'm releasing.
Because that was one of my favorite lines that Whitley would say, you know, later and her daughter is now, you know, being told to relax, relate, release. And it sounded so good in Whitley's kind of fake accent or over the top Southern accent that she would put on. But, you know, we'll see. Her daughter doesn't have any sort of accent at all.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Right. But because she probably had to follow her husband around like was done back in those days. And then she's a traditional Southern belle. You know what I'm saying? So, but she still got a butt on the back, but we still having these old, Compton stereotypes. Where are you from? Compton. Oh my God.
Right. So Rashida from Compton is actually Deborah's roommate. That's Whitley, Whitley's daughter and Dwayne's daughter, her roommate. And Whitley is like, you better watch her. And I'm saying to myself, what?
Where are you from?
Compton.
Watch her.
Is that who we really are? Still are. But you know what? I guess some things don't change.
Well, I understand the character, but I'm talking about from the perspective of the writing that you have to use the stereotype of Compton. That's just what I expect from a white person to just pop up and be like, and the character's going to be from Compton.
Well, let me tell you something about Compton. Actually, one of my college roommates was from Compton. And, this was at a time, this is the 90s. And it's at a time when Compton, for people who live in other parts of the, country, I never heard of Compton until, gangsta rap. I'm not from California. Did. So the only thing we knew of Compton was like, Compton is like, where the gangs are, where, it's the setting for all of our favorite hood films.
But that's how we get the line in Higher Learning, is that near Compton? Right. Because she was black also. But now we're bringing it back 30 years later.
Well, and I guess reputations die hard. But the interesting thing about the whole Compton thing is my roommate was not hood by any stretch of the imagination. And she schooled me real quick about Compton. She was like, that's not all of Compton. And in fact, my roommate was quite bougie. So that was very, I was like, all right. So you're
that's
from
like
Compton.
Any place. People be like, he's from Detroit. You don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
you could be from the trenches of the hood. I'm born and raised on that street. That don't mean that you like that.
And we know a lot of people, who watch and listen are from California. Y'all, if you're from Compton, let us know in the comments and tell us about Compton as a person who is from there. But like I said, she schooled me about Compton, and actually Ava DuVernay and a lot of other people are from Compton, and they are
nigga on trial for killing Tupac is from Compton.
Yeah. So the point is that there's a wide breadth of different types of folks who are from Compton. So it's not just people who you are used to seeing
like
in your
any other
favorite hood
place.
film. It's like any other place. Yeah. So that's our little diversion on Compton. But I am anticipating this. It comes out September 24th, and I'm interested. I don't know how many episodes there'll be, but I'm willing to give it 5-episode try.
Dang, that's a lot.
Big Pops, just give him a chance to see the ladies.
For those of you who have ever watched one of our deep dives and thought you should cover this movie next, Deep Dive on Demand is for you. With a sole executive producer credit, you can choose any movie you want for just a $75 contribution. You'll be the sole executive producer on that video. You're going to receive on-screen credit and get a shout out during the video. Looking for a lower cost option? Our co-executive producer credits start at just $10. Simply choose a film from our select list and you'll receive on-screen credit and a shout out alongside the other co-executive producers for that video. We also have a couple of limited time bundles available to you. You can get 3 co-executive producer credits for just $25, which is a $30 value. Or our biggest bundle yet, 1 sole executive producer credit for the movie of your choice, plus 3 co-executive producer credits for just $75. And that's a $105 value. This is a great way to support the channel while helping us to decide what movies we're going to cover next. So you'll find links to all of these options in the description. Thanks, and let's get back to the video.
You brought up, the Africans or whatever, right? But the whole thing just remind me of like All American and Grownish. Why you got to show us the football play? I ain't go to HBCU, so I don't know if the football players is like that. You know what I'm saying? How look, it's the football player, the star or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of remind me of like the All American, and then I get the Grownish vibe. So maybe it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, but we fell off of Grownish too, though. I mean, I did enjoy Grownish. What did we watch it for? At least a season. Maybe 2, but yeah. But I think it's just that, and to answer your question, what is it like at an HBCU in terms of, is that how the, jocks are? I mean, I think that the relationship between the jocks and the popular people are, it's kind of the same everywhere.
Yeah.
I know at Tuskegee, the jocks, instant popularity. Same thing with people who were in fraternities and sororities, instant popularity. So there are just different things that ratchet up your social bank account.
I went to I went to LSU and I was a quad baby. Shout out to my quad babies. I was always in the quad. And Ryan Clark used to always go to the quad. You know, I was there more than him, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a real slacker. But it wasn't like just this big, it was like, oh, that guy plays, that little bitty, he was small to me. That little guy plays football, you know? And then it's, you know, but seeing those people around wasn't that big of a deal. And then, you know, they basketball team wasn't nothing, so of course they wouldn't be the stars. You know what I'm saying? But just, I say this because LSU is considered one of those, you know, big top tier schools when it comes to athletics, especially football. And then he's just like an example who was, you know, big now. But that's why when I see this, it just, it kind of make me be like, we're just going for all the same tropes.
And let's talk about how this is not a sitcom.
Is it not? Why they show me so much comedy in the thing?
But I think, okay, you know how a sitcom looks? Like it's on a set and
multicam.
You know,
multicam with laugh
like
track.
A different scenario.
Are they not called sitcoms anymore? Somebody go to the comments, let me know.
Somebody who's a film expert, let me know. But I feel like this is not my idea of how, you know, when I think of sitcom, I think original different world, The Cosby Show.
Ain't nobody making no sitcoms no more.
You know, that shows how much I watch.
Probably
TV.
only on network TV, and who's watching it?
Yeah. So, I mean, but it doesn't mean it can't be depicted. And I do like the fact that it is filmed the way that it is, but it just is a different vibe.
It's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world for sure. It's a different world, I'm telling you. But I'm looking forward to this. But September is going to be a big month because we got Why Did I Get Married coming out in September on the 9th, and then the 24th of September, A Different World. So are they going to do like usual and they're going to drop the whole thing on one day, I'm guessing?
I don't know. Netflix been acting crazy.
Y'all go to the comments and let us know if it's going to all drop on the same day or not. You know, this reminds me of back in the day, like when Orange is the New Black would come out. This was before Netflix servers were strong and robust like they are today. Man, people would be shutting the servers down trying to watch Orange is the New Black every season when it would drop all 10 episodes or however many episodes it was at once. But, you know, that was such a phenomenon show that came and went, and you don't even hear anything about it anymore. But people, boy, they loved that show when it was out. Anyway, go to the comments. Let us know. Do you think that this is going to be any good? Are you looking forward to it? Do you plan to watch it? You know, I'm glad that I got a sneak peek with the trailer, but we'll see come September 24th.
If you made it this far, type relax, relate, release in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around to the end.
And be sure to check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and also be sure to visit axiom.app, where you'll find all of our recent videos in one place with links to them back on YouTube so that you can watch them here.